Hello students, hope you all are studying well. This is the fifth and last video lecture of chapter 4, Reconstruction of Partnership. In this video lecture, I am going to explain the practical sum from exercise of your textbook question number 13, as it is the summation of all the topics, that is journal entries to prepare revaluation account and balance sheet after revaluation. Also, this sum of exercise is similar to illustration number 8 taught in the previous video lecture. Students, you can see the question on your screen. If you are having textbook, then it is good. But if not having, then either you can take screenshot of the question or you can download the PDF file of accounts textbook already sent to you in the WhatsApp group, because you can understand its solution only if the question is there side by side. So first of all, let us read the question and understand it. From the following information, prepare past necessary journal entries and prepare revaluation account and balance sheet after revaluation in the books of Sajan and Nirmi. There are two partners, Sajan and Nirmi, and we have to pass necessary journal entries, prepare revaluation account and balance sheet after revaluation. They are sharing profit and loss in the ratio of 5:3. Their balance sheet is given to you. Capital account, that is Sajan and Nirmi, 80,000 and 50,000, total 1,30,000. General reserve and P&L account. Now general reserve is a reserve fund and P&L account is an accumulated profit. Both is to be distributed amongst the partners in their old profit sharing ratio, that is 5:3. Now non-current liabilities, 12% bank loan, that is 70,000. Current liabilities in which creditors, that is 32,000. Bills payable, that is 10,000. Now asset side, first entry, that is land and building, 1,40,000, machinery 80,000, furniture, that is 30,000, investment in bracket it is given market value rupees 18,000, and outer column, that is the book value of investment, that is 20,000. Current assets in which debtors 40,000 minus BDR, that is 1,500. So in outer column it is shown to you 38,500. Now stock, that is 31,500. Cash balance, that is 30,000. Now have a glance over the adjustment. The first adjustment, that is the value of land and building is to be increased by 10%. Now what is the value of land and building given in the balance sheet? That is 1,40,000. Its value is to be increased by 10%. So 10% of 1,40,000, it would come to 14,000. So due to increase in the value of asset, profit will occur to the firm, so it will be recorded on the credit side of revaluation account. So the journal entry would be land and building account debit to revaluation account credit. The next adjustment, that is the value of machinery and furniture is to be reduced by 40%. What is the value of machinery given in the balance sheet? That is 80,000, and of furniture, that is given 30,000. 40% of 80,000, that would come to 32,000, and 40% of 30,000, that would come to 12,000. So that much amount of assets will reduce. Due to reduction in the value of assets, the profit loss will occur to the firm. So loss will always be recorded on the debit side of revaluation account. So the journal entry would be revaluation account debit to machinery account credit to furniture account credit. The third adjustment, rupees 1,000 bad debt reserve on debtor is not required. Debtors are given over here, that is 40,000. Bad debt reserve is given 1,500. Now out of 1,500, 1,000 bad debt reserve is not required. So now you will give bad debt reserve only rupees 500, and outer column you will show 39,500 in the new balance sheet after revaluation. So there is increase in the value of asset, means previously you are showing over here 38,500, but in the new balance sheet that you will prepare after revaluation, you will show the debtors value, that is 39,500. So there is an increase in the value of debtors. So due to increase in the value of assets, profit will occur to the firm. So the journal entry would be debtors account debit or bad debt reserve account debit to revaluation account credit by rupees 1,000. The next adjustment, that is rupees 1,500 repairing expense is required for stock. Now stock value that is given to you 31,500. Out of that, repairing expense is of rupees 1,500. Due to repairing expense, value of stock will reduce from 31,500 to 30,000. So that decrease in the value of stock, so loss will occur to the firm. So it will be recorded on the debit side of revaluation account. So the journal entry would be revaluation account debit to stock account credit by rupees 1500. Fifth adjustment, rupees 1500 out of creditors is now not to be paid, which is to be recorded in the books. What is the value of creditors? Rupees 32,000, out of which 1500 creditors are now not to be paid. Due to decrease in the value of creditors, profit will occur to the firm, because liability will decrease, then it will be profit for the firm. So the journal entry would be creditors account debit to revaluation account credit. Sixth adjustment, outstanding expense is rupees 10,000 and income receivable rupees 2,000. Outstanding expense means it is a liability, increase in liability. Due to increase in liability, the loss will occur to the firm, so it will be recorded on the debit side of revaluation account. So the journal entry would be revaluation account debit to outstanding expense account credit. Now in case of income receivable, that will be gain or profit for the firm, so it will be recorded on the credit side of revaluation account. So the journal entry would be income receivable account debit to revaluation account credit by rupees 2,000. Now the last adjustment, that is investment, is to be shown at its market value. Investment value is given to you over here, that is 20,000, in bracket it is given market value 18,000. In the new balance sheet after revaluation, you have to show the value of investment at rupees 18,000. So instead of 20,000, now you will show only rupees 18,000. So there is reduction in the value of investment by rupees 2,000. Due to decrease in the value of asset, loss will occur to the firm. So the journal entry would be revaluation account debit to investment account credit. So we have understood the question thoroughly. Now moving on to the solution of it. Here we have to prepare journal entries in the books of Sargent and Livni. As you can read in the question, we have to prepare journal entries, we have to prepare the revaluation account and the balance sheet after revaluation. So first of all, let us understand the journal entries. As you can read in the first adjustment, the value of land and building is to be increased by 10%. What is the value of land and building given in the balance sheet? That is 1,40,000. 1,40,000, 10% increase, so it would come to 14,000. Due to increase in the value of asset, profit will occur to the firm. Due to profit, revaluation account will be credited. Whenever profit will occur, revaluation account will always be credited. So what would be the first journal entry? Land and building account debit to revaluation account credit by rupees 14,000. It means revaluation account will be credited as profit will occur, and land and building account will be debited as assets value is increasing. Now the second adjustment, the value of machinery and furniture is to be reduced by 40%. What is the value of machinery? That is rupees 80,000. 80,000, 40% of 80,000, that would come to rupees 32,000. And 40% of 30,000, that would come to 12,000. So because of the decrease in the value of two assets, that is machinery and furniture, loss will occur to the firm. If loss occurs to the firm, then always revaluation account will be debited. So over here the second journal entry would be revaluation account debit, that is total of 32,000 plus 12,000, that is 44,000. To machinery account credit 32,000, to furniture account credit rupees 12,000. It means due to decrease in the value of asset, loss occurs, so revaluation account will be debited, and assets value decreases, so opposite effect of assets, that is credit effect. Now the third adjustment, rupees 1,000 bad debt reserve on debtors is not required. You can see in the question, bad debt reserve, that is subtracted from the debtors by rupees 1,500, and the balance amount is written in the outer column. Now 1,000 bad debts is not to be maintained. It means debtors value is increased by rupees 1,000. Previously you had written 40,000 minus 1,500, it means 38,500. Now 40,000 minus only 500 you have to do, and you will be showing 39,500 in the outer column in the new balance sheet after revaluation. So because of the decrease in bad debt reserve, value of debtors is increased. Debtors is one kind of an asset. Due to increase in the value of asset, revaluation account will be credited because profit will occur to the firm. So the next journal entry, that would be bad debt reserve account debit by rupees 1000 to revaluation account credit, that is rupees 1000, as profit occurs to the firm. Next, fourth entry, that is the point is fourth adjustment, rupees 1500 repairing expense is required for stock. What is the value of stock? That is 31,500. Due to repairing expense, the value of stock is decreased. If the asset value decreases, loss will occur to the firm. So revaluation account will be debited. So the next journal entry, you can see the fourth entry, that is revaluation account debit by rupees 1500 to stock account credit, that is rupees 1500. Again, if loss occurs to the firm, then revaluation account will always be debited, and if profit occurs to the firm, then revaluation account will always be credited. Now the next adjustment, rupees 1500 out of creditors is now not to be paid, which is to be recorded in the books. What is the value of creditors? That is rupees 32,000. Now 1500 is not to be paid to the creditors. It means liability, previously we had to pay rupees 32,000. Now there is a decrease in liability by rupees 1500. Due to decrease in liability, profit will occur to the firm. The responsibility to pay has decreased, so the profit will occur to the firm. If profit occurs, then revaluation account will be credited. So the next entry you can see on the board, that is fifth entry, creditors account debit 1500 to revaluation account credit 1500. Creditors, you are knowing, it is a liability. Liability is always having a credit balance. If the liability is decreased, then the opposite effect of credit, that would be debit. So creditors account is debited over here by rupees 1500, and as profit occurs due to decrease in liability, revaluation account will be credited over here. Now the next entry, that is outstanding expense is rupees 10,000 and income receivable is rupees 2,000. We have to give separate journal entries for outstanding expense and income receivable. Outstanding expense, we already understood the concept of outstanding expense in standard 11. That is the expense that is to be paid in the future. It means at present we have not paid that liability. In future that liability would occur. So it would increase the burden on the firm. So it will create loss for the firm. Because of that, revaluation account will be debited. So revaluation account debit by rupees 10,000 to outstanding expense account credit rupees 10,000. Students, you can see over here I am not writing the full form, that is outstanding. You are very well known the short form of it, that is O/S. So it is called to outstanding expense account credit rupees 10,000, as the liability is increased by rupees 10,000, due to which loss occurs to the firm, that is loss occurs to the firm. So revaluation account will be debited by rupees 10. Now in the same adjustment you can see that is income receivable rupees 2,000. Income receivable means the income which you are going to receive in future. So it is one kind of profit for the firm. If it is profit, then revaluation account will always be credited. So the entry would be income receivable account debit rupees 2,000 to revaluation account credit rupees 2,000. Now the last adjustment you can see, that is investment is to be shown at its market value. You can see in the balance sheet that investment is shown at rupees 20,000 and in bracket it is given market value rupees 18,000. Now in the new balance sheet after revaluation you have to show the value of investment at rupees 18,000. So decrease in the value of investment by rupees 2,000. Due to decrease in asset, loss will occur to the firm. If it is loss, then revaluation account will always be debited. So the next entry you can see over here, revaluation account debit by rupees 2,000, that is 20,000 minus 18,000 to investment account credit, that is rupees 2000. Because of decrease in value of investment, the assets balance is always debit balance, but due to decrease, opposite effect of it, that is credit effect, would be given of investment account. Now the two important points, that is of reserve fund and the accumulated profit. You can see in the balance sheet on the liability side that general reserve is given to you 80,000 and P&L account credit balance, that is rupees 48,000. General reserve and accumulated profit, that is P&L account, will always be distributed amongst the partners in their old profit sharing ratio. You can read in the question that the old profit sharing ratio between Sajan and Nirmi is 5:3. The value of general reserve given over here is rupees 80,000. So general reserve will be distributed amongst the partners in the ratio of 5:3. So it will come to 50,000 and 30,000. Now the journal entry, that is general reserve account debit 80,000 to S capital account, that is Sajan's capital account credit 50,000 to N's capital, means Nirmi's capital account credit rupees 30,000. Just as we have distributed general reserve amongst the partners, now we have to distribute the accumulated profit also amongst the partners. If the balance is given on the liability side of balance sheet, then it is called accumulated profit. But if in the question the accumulated, if it is given the balance of P&L account on the asset side, then it is called the accumulated loss. In case of accumulated loss, the reverse effect would be of this, that is partners capital account debit to P&L account credit. Here the accumulated profit is there given to you, that is 48,000. So 48,000 would be distributed amongst the partners in their old profit sharing ratio, that is 5:3. So you can see the journal entry, that is P&L account debit 48,000 to S capital account credit, that is 30,000 to N's capital account credit, that is rupees 18,000. Now the last journal entry that I have not written over here, because that is the entry of profit or loss that will be able to find out only after the preparation of revaluation account. So now we are going to prepare the revaluation account. Now after the journal entries, we have to prepare the revaluation account. Students, in the previous video lecture also I have explained that revaluation account is also known as P&L adjustment account. Now in standard 11th you have already studied one chapter, that is ledger and posting. So here from the journal entries that we had learned just now, we have to just do the posting of the journal entries in the revaluation account. One more important thing, if the profit occurs to the firm, then always revaluation account will be credited, and if loss occurs to the firm, then always the revaluation account will be debited. Now refer the journal entries. What was the first journal entry that we had written? That is land and building account debit to revaluation account credit, because profit occurred to the firm due to increase in the value of land and building. So land and building account debit to revaluation account credit. So in the revaluation account you write on the credit side by land and building account by rupees 14,000. The second entry, that was machinery and furniture, that was reduced by 40%. So the journal entry, due to machinery and furniture value has been decreased, so loss has occurred to the firm. So loss will always be recorded on the debit side of revaluation account. So the journal entry that we had written, that was revaluation account debit to machine account credit to furniture account credit. So on the debit side of revaluation account, you will write to machine account, that is 92,000, to furniture account credit, that is rupees 12,000. So both the entries would come on the debit side of the revaluation account. The next entry that we had written, that was bad debt reserve, that was reduced by rupees 1,000. Due to decrease in bad debt reserve, profit occurred to the firm. If profit occurs, then it will be always on the credit side of revaluation account. What was the entry? That is bad debt reserve account debit to revaluation account credit. So on the revaluation account credit side, we have written by bad debt reserve account. You are also very well knowing, on the debit side we are writing to, and on the credit side we are writing by. Now the next entry that we had written, that is of creditors. Creditors value has been reduced. Due to decrease in the value of creditors, the profit occurs to the firm. So profit occurs, that's why on the credit side of revaluation account by creditors account. The journal entry we have written that was creditors account debit to revaluation account credit. So revaluation account credit. So on the credit side we write by creditors account rupees 1500. Then afterwards we had written outstanding expense that was rupees that was rupees 10,000. Now outstanding expense is one kind of liability. If the liability increases, then it will be loss to the firm. So loss will always be recorded on the debit side of revaluation account. The journal entry was revaluation account debit to outstanding expense account credit. So on the debit side of revaluation account, you will write the name of the opposite party, that is to outstanding expense account, that is 10,000. You already did next journal entry that you written, that is income receivable rupees 2,000. Income receivable is a profit for the firm. If it is profit, then it will be recorded on the credit side of revaluation account. You have written the journal entry that is income receivable account debit to revaluation account credit. So on the credit side of revaluation account, you will write the name of the opposite party, that is income receivable. So by income receivable account, that is rupees 2,000. Now after the posting of all the entries of revaluation account, I am left one journal entry. That journal entry will be written after the posting of all the entries in the revaluation account. Now we have studied the posting of all the journal entries in the revaluation account. Now we will find the difference, that is profit or loss. You are knowing very well, if the total of credit side comes more compared to total of debit side, then it is called profit. It means difference would come on the debit side. And if the total of debit side comes more compared to total of credit side, then loss would occur, that would be written on the credit side. Over here it is debit balance. Debit balance matlab total of debit side is more, that is 57,000. So here you have done the total, that is 57,000 both the side. Difference comes on credit side 39,000. So that is loss for the firm. Loss for the firm, so it will be whether it is loss or profit, both will be transferred to the partner's capital account. So here it is distributed loss in the ratio of 5:3. In the starting of the sum it is mentioned that profit and loss sharing ratio of Sajan and Nirmi, that is 5:3. So 39,000 is distributed in the partners in the ratio of 5:3. So for S it would come 24,375 and for N it would come 14,625. So the last journal entry that would be, that is partners capital account debit. It means S capital account debit 24,375. N's capital account debit, that would be 14,625 to revaluation account credit, that is rupees 39,000. Now after completion of the revaluation account, we have prepared the next account, that is partners capital account. Now in the partners capital account, if required, you don't need to prepare the partners capital account if very few entries are there, but for the first time I have made you explain it by preparing separately the partners capital account. The first entry in partners capital account, that is given, that is by balance brought down. That is already given in your question in the balance sheet, that is the balance of capital, that is of Sajan, that is 80,000, and of Nirmi, that is rupees 50,000. So the first entry that would be by balance brought down 80,000 and 50,000. Now we refer the journal entries. In the journal entries we have written the one journal entry, that is of general reserve distribution amongst the partners. The journal entry was general reserve account debit to Sajan's capital account 50,000, to Nirmi's capital account, that is rupees 30,000. So the posting of it, that would be, here you will write by general reserve account 50,000 in the column of Sajan and 30,000 in the column of Nirmi. Now the next entry that you have written, that was accumulated profit. The same type of entry would be there, that is P&L account debit to partners capital account, that is Sajan's capital account credit to Nirmi's capital account credit. So the credit side of partners capital account, you will write by P&L account 30,000 and 18,000. Now, whatever the profit, whatever the loss that you have occurred in the revaluation account, that will be transferred to the partner's capital account. The entry that we had discussed, that was partners capital account debit to revaluation account credit. So on the partners capital account, we'll write the name of the opposite party, that is to revaluation account, that is in the column of Sargent, you will write 24,375, and in the column of Nirmi, you will write 14,625. So after completion of all the entries, again you will close the partners capital account and you will find the difference. This difference you will write in the balance sheet after revaluation. So first of all, you can see that the total of credit side is more, as only one entry is there on the debit side. So you will do the total of credit side. Total of credit side comes to 1,60,000 for S, and for N it comes to 98,000. Total you will place same on the both the side, and now you will find the difference after subtracting the value, that is 24,375. For S, the closing balance that would come to 1,35,625, and for Nirmi it would come to 83,375. This closing balance of capital that we will be transferring in the balance sheet after revaluation. Now, the balance sheet as on 31st March 2017 after revaluation means after making the necessary adjustments, we have to prepare the new balance sheet. Students, you are all very well knowing that balance sheet is a statement, it is not an account. If you are preparing revaluation account, you have to compulsory write debit and credit on the debit side and credit side, on the left top corner and the right top corner. But balance sheet is a statement, so never you can write debit or credit on the left and right top corner. The format of balance sheet you are knowing, that is liabilities rupees, assets rupees. Now first of all, the first entry, that is capital, you are knowing very well, we are writing on the liability side. We have already found the closing capital of Sargent and Nirmi by preparing the partners capital account. The closing balance of S, that was came to 1,35,625, and that of Nirmi came to 83,375. The total of it that will put in the outer column, that is 2,19,000. Now the next entry, that is 12% bank loan. No any adjustment was given on bank loan. So as it is, we have written from the question balance sheet that is given 12% bank loan, that is rupees 70,000. Next entry, that is creditors. Creditors in the question balance sheet it was given 32,000. Now we are not to pay rupees 1,500. We have to mention over here the increase or decrease in the value of assets and liabilities. We have not to pay, that is rupees 1,500. So that 1,500 you will subtract, and in the outer column you will write that is 30,500. That is the new value of the creditors after the revaluation. Now the next, that is bills payable. I have written the short form, that is B/P. So bills payable, no any adjustment was there on it. So as it is, we have written the value, that is 10,000 from the old balance sheet. Outstanding expense, that was the new liability that has been arised for the firm. So due to increase in the liability, it will be written on the liability side, that is 10,000. Now see that no any entry is remaining from the question that balance sheet has been given to you. Now moving on to the asset side, the first entry, that is land and building. In land and building, the first adjustment, that was increase in the value of land and building by 10%. So here you will be showing plus increase. If it is increase, then you will be showing by plus, and if it is decrease, you will be showing by minus. So 1,40,000 plus increase, that is 14,000. In the outer column you will write 1,54,000. Next, that is machinery. In machinery, the actual value that was given in the old balance sheet, that is 80,000. In that, in the adjustment it was given decrease by 40%. So minus 32,000 decrease is there. So outer column you will show that is 48,000. In furniture also there was decrease of 40%. So the old value that was 30,000 minus decrease in the value of furniture by 40%. So it would come to 12,000. So in the outer column you will mention that is rupees 18,000. Now investment is to be shown at its market value. Previously in the old balance sheet, the value of investment that was shown to you, that is rupees 20,000. Now the market value, it means decrease in the value, you have to show by rupees 18,000. So directly you can show over here that is investment rupees 18,000. Next, debtors. Debtors in the old balance sheet it was given to you 40,000, and BDR that was given to you 1,500. In the adjustment it was given that BDR from 1500 is to be reduced to rupees 500. It means 1000 BDR is not to be maintained. So directly I have mentioned over here that is decrease in the BDR, that is 500 from 1500. I have directly subtracted 1000 and I have subtracted only rupees 500. So in the outer column by subtraction you will write 39,500. Cash balance directly from the old balance sheet, that is as it is, no any adjustment was there, so 30,000. And last entry, that is receivable income, that is the profit for the firm, that is what kind of assets for the firm. Assets has been increased because of it, so it will be recorded on the asset side of the balance sheet. See that after completion of all the entries from the old balance sheet, any of the entry or any of the adjustments posting is not remaining in the balance sheet. If any of the entry is remaining to be done in the balance sheet, then your balance sheet will not get tallied. If your balance sheet doesn't get tallied, it means any of the entry is remaining to be posted. So after verifying the entire sum, then you have to do the total of both the sides. If the total of both the side, that is liability side and asset side, comes the same, it means your sum is correct. Now you are knowing it very well, this entire sums take around 20 minutes to complete. Hope you all have understood it very well. Till then, stay blessed. Good day.